Those of you that are in school right now and you are feeling very frustrated because there's no money for you to pay your school fees, I want to show you this picture. This picture is a picture of a 200 level student of Benue State University. She was hawking up on the streets to support her parents to pay her school fees. Today, she's live in our studio and we'll be interviewing her to tell.
I was not scared. I entered. He asked me how much was my goods. I told him. He said if I sleep with him, he'll give me 7 times that. I saw people doing hookup in pride. So why will I do something honorable in shame? Kept on going. Now when I finished secondary school, big problem, university.
I don't believe that you are the same lady in that very picture. I'm curious, what were you thinking hawking up on the streets?
I want you to watch this video. Watch this video. Open your eyes and watch this video. This is a must-watch video for you. Watch this video. Guys, watch this video. We'll just watch. Can you just see? Can you imagine this? Watch this video. Watch this video. Thank you.
Ashamed or something?
No, I wasn't ashamed. I told myself that I'm a product of my decisions and not my circumstances. So I didn't allow my circumstances to define me. And I didn't want to have that opinion that I was suffering. Though I was suffering, but I didn't want to see it that way so that I could easily break out of that, hub of poverty. My story is it's a big one. First of all, I was born, I like to say, into a humble home. My dad was a shoemaker. Then my mom was just a trader, a petty trader, and I'm the first out of 5. So I started hawking at primary 4. I just looked and I told my mom that I want to be your business. I just felt that there was more to me than just being in the family. My dad objected at that point because he didn't want me to hawk, but I saw that we're really...
Oh my God. You wouldn't believe this. Watch this video and see.
And I told my mom that I want to be your business. I just felt that there was more to me than just being in the family. My dad objected at that point because he didn't want me to hawk, but I saw that we're really poor. We were staying in a compound that had about 42 rooms with just 2 toilets and 2 bathrooms, where you have to queue up. We literally queue up in the morning to bathe. And if you want to bathe early, you'll have to wake up as fast as 5 a.m. to bathe, People quarrel. And in that compound, if you want to bathe, you just have to stay at the center of the bathroom because of potholes there. So as you're pouring water, the one there will not touch you. And if God helps you, you are trying to touch your soap case and your hand touches in between the wall. People do a manner, they will defecate and put it there. I'm so sorry, but it was that bad. Talk about where we fetch water that we eat. It's in the midst of a refuse dump. But that was the only means of survival. We wake up as early as 2 a.m. because of the crowd. We fight, tear shirts just to fetch water. So life was bad at that point. I just saw my dad literally struggling. So I told my mom I want to do something for her. So fortunately for us, we learned how to make cake in church. So I told her, let's go get the ingredients. So that's how I started hawking in primary 4. I didn't know that my dad was going to die when I was in primary 5. I didn't know. So my dad died when I was in primary 5. Then I was preparing to go to secondary school, and I was the first, and I was 10 years then. Life was hard. When we buried my dad, we came back to that same compound. I looked up and looked down. I told my mom something. I didn't know I said that. She told me when I grew that was what I told her. She said, at 10, I walked up to her and I told her, Mommy, why are you crying? She thought that something was wrong with me. Like, you just lost your dad. And the next thing I said to her was, don't cry again. You only need 2 people to succeed, me, faith, and God. I will be your husband. And anything daddy was supposed to get, now you will get a double portion. She said when I spoke, strength entered her. She just knew that it wasn't me.
How old were you then?
I was 10.
I feel like crying. I'm having goosebumps on my body. Are you serious? And
yes,
you spoke that way?
And I spoke that way.
Jesus Christ.
Even till date, when I remember that thing, she always tells me that. That story is like something that she can never. She said that was when she stopped crying. Because if I can tell her that who taught me that I'm going to be her husband, that I only need 2 people, she only needs 2 people to succeed, me and God. That I was going to be her husband. So that's what I said. So at that point, I knew that I needed to double my hustle. God so kind, we were 5. My uncle took my sister, the one next to me, and another uncle took my brother. So it was just left with me and the twins. My dad died when the twins were just a year plus. So my mom could not do anything. I went into the street. I started hawking. I hawked my life out too. At 10, 11, I was going to bush markets. That's like 2 hours away from Makurdi City. I was so small. People will look at me and call me Smally, and I'll tell my mom. My mom sometimes, she says I come back by 10 p.m. and she'll be shaking that please, she does not want to bear another child. And I'll look at her and tell her that I'm writing my life. Why is she scared? She said, what even scares her is this kind of things I tell her, you know? And I feel it was just God that engineered me, because we were really suffering. Secondary school, paying house rent, feeding, everything was so, life was so bad. So at that point, I was hawking any and everything just for us to survive. So that's how I started hawking cake. That cake, I hawked to the point that I was able to save money for my mom. She started selling charcoal at home. I opened that business for her at 12.
You did age of 12?
Yes.
Oh, impressive.
I did. And funny enough, right, the neighborhood we grew in, that environment was bad. Like, if I call the name of that place for you, till date, anytime I visit Benue State, people are still scared to go there. Bike men will not even take you there because it's such a bad place. A lot of things happen.
Like a ghetto?
Ghetto is a good word. Ghetto is a good word, you know, because I even wondered when my father got house there, but of course it was cheap then, because house rent was for as low as 500, 1,000. Yes, it was cheap then. Back then. But the place was not good for children, because teenage pregnancy was normal. The girls sit down and discuss abortion like we are both talking. It's not something bad. So if you have not dropped a child, at least 2, you know. So there were easier ways to come out of. I think one lady even approached me, one of our friends there in the neighborhood, and said they are starting a girl court. I should come and join them. I told her that life cannot give me 2-0. No, I'm poor. And I want to now imprison myself. I thought that life cannot give me 2-0. So, but then I looked foolish because they were having it easy, following guys. So those times where I will hawk and come back late at night, because the reason why I come back late is because I really want to finish what I'm hawking so that I can make my mom happy. All I wanted to do was to make her happy and support my siblings. And some guys will just want to stop me on the way, and I'll look at them and ask them, when they finish, you know, those their lines, follow us, we will change your life, and most of them were cultists. I will look at them and say, how much is your transport? I was that arrogant girl, you know,
as a young person.
But that was because I was determined to really change our life, I wanted to be a success, someone that people will look up to and say, if God helped Faith, God can help me. I didn't want my background to put my back on the ground. I wanted my dad's name to be on the map. So I had that conviction in me, so it kept me going and struggling.
In all that you do, make sure you are hardworking and fear God. You will surely succeed.
So, but at some point when it was now time for my younger one to go into primary school, what I was giving my mom could no longer sustain us. So she had to now join me to hawk. She said when she wanted to hawk, I refused.